Hello everybody, here's what's coming up tonight on Now. The opioid epidemic ravages families and steals the lives of the next generation, but it has also led to an important medical discovery.
We wanted to figure out a way to use all the organs that we have available in New England to help our patients here in New England.
Hep C is common among intravenous drug users, but now their kidneys are safe for transplant.
Can a working waterfront and retail space coexist? Developers and fishermen will have to hash it out.
A woman was partially or was drawn towards the out of the plane and was pulled back in by other passengers.
One person is dead, 7 are injured, and more than 100 others survived the most terrifying moments of their lives as an engine blew out on a Southwest airline.
This is News Center Now.
Passengers on board a Southwest flight heard a loud bang and then felt their plane literally start to drop out of the sky. My goodness. Hello,
Sounds
everybody.
like a nightmare.
Yeah, I'm Lee Goldberg.
And I'm Lindsay Mills. The National Transportation Safety Board says one person died in the incident, but details about what caused that crash are still largely unconfirmed. The Dallas-bound Southwest flight left New York with 143 passengers on board. At least 7 are being treated for injuries. Passengers tell friends and family an engine blew, shrapnel flew into the plane, and then they began to fall. The crew reportedly told everyone on board to brace for impact, but the pilot was able to make an emergency landing at Philadelphia Airport. Officials are actively investigating.
It is our understanding that the passengers on board the aircraft, in addition to the flight crew and the cabin crew, did some pretty amazing things under very difficult circumstances.
Apparently the left engine blew and it apparently threw shrapnel into one of the windows and depressurized the plane immediately. And one passenger, a woman, was partially or was drawn towards the out of the plane and was pulled back in by other passengers.
We are sure to find out more about what caused the damage and hear more from passengers as the night goes along, so make sure you download our mobile app for the most up-to-date information on demand. All right, so all along Maine's 3,400 miles of coastline, there's kind of a battle between the fishing industry and the rapidly growing tourism business.
That battle is front and center tonight in Portland. A local developer wants to build a hotel at Fisherman's Wharf right on the site of the popular Portland Lobster Company. Some fishermen resist the plan, saying that waterfront is a place for fishermen to work, not a place for tourists to play.
The idea was to take the vacant parking lot, it's about 2 acres, and bring it to its full potential.
A vacant lot reimagined as a boutique hotel, bustling shopping center, and convenient parking garage. David Bateman has been a developer in the Portland area since the 1970s. This plan, 3 years in the works, would be built in the middle of Portland's working waterfront.
We need that waterfront, and we've worked very hard to maintain our berthing, and now we're working to maintain access to our berthing.
The development company will have to defend the plan to Portland's planning board Tuesday night, and Maine fishermen will be there too. Steve Train is a lobsterman from Long Island. He says he and others are concerned about the congestion all along Commercial Street.
The traffic has really changed the schedule for islanders coming and going to the island. You've got to leave a lot more time on every side to try to make sure you get a parking spot and get to that ferry on time.
Train says fishermen compromised on working wharf zoning in 2010, but at the time parking wasn't such a big issue.
I don't think there's room for a zoning change.
The waterfront comes in different flavors.
Bateman says Widgery Wharf and Chandler's Wharf prove tourism and fishing can work in tandem.
When we respond to displacement of the working waterfront, it's not that at all. What we're doing is we're helping and assisting the commercial tourism waterfront, which is just as important as the fishing industry.
This is also the site of the Portland Lobster Company restaurant that rents the space. Bateman says the business has the option to relocate, but the rent could increase in price.
I would say that's probably a realistic assumption.
And Portland Lobster Company could not be reached for comment. Ultimately, it's up to the city to decide whether the plans come to fruition.
Well, the good thing about being on the water is when the weather is nice. That would not really be anything we've dealt with lately, though.
I know. What's that like?
Oh, Keith?
Yeah,
any chance of it ever being nice around here?
There is, but man, it's a slow burn so far this spring for sure. High temperatures today, relatively much better than yesterday, right? We were in the 30s in a lot of spots yesterday. Upper 40s, we didn't get to 50. We just didn't see enough sunshine in most spots. Bangor came in though with 49 degrees. A couple of showers out there still rotating along the coastal plain over southern coastal Maine, and some snow showers in the mountains. Largely ineffectual snow showers there though, as temperatures just a little bit too warm at the boundary layer to do any real accumulating, but you can see them continuing. A few more hours of showers along the coast and into the mid-coast and down east as well. Winds though have settled. They were nasty yesterday, over 50 miles an hour at times, now gusting to 23 in Portland, so breezy but not windy anymore. So the last of the showers moves out later on tonight. Tomorrow is a better looking day. Temperatures though only in the mid and upper 40s. We do have some possible snow to talk about for late in the week. We'll do that in just a few minutes.
People all over Maine sending their well wishes to former First Lady Barbara Bush.
She's receiving comfort care at home in Houston, but her summer neighbors in southern Maine are eager to know how she's holding up. Chris Costa is live in Kennebunkport.
Yeah, Chris, for the first time in days now, we are actually getting updates from the Bush family spokesperson.
Yeah, Lee and Lindsay, Jim McGrath is the family spokesperson for the former president and the former First Lady. It's his job to send out information to the media and the world about George H.W. Bush and Barbara Bush's activities. Now, earlier this morning, he retweeted a post from the Barbara Bush Foundation for Family Literacy Twitter account. In the post, the foundation thanks people for their thoughts and prayers for Mrs. Bush and includes a link to a page where people can send well wishes directly to the former First Lady and her family. The site says that Mrs. Bush and her family will appreciate the personal notes and support for literacy. Now, McGrath also retweeted a post from the account West Wing Reports. The post includes a picture of Mrs. Bush hugging a child at a hospice in Washington where abandoned infants with the AIDS virus were being cared for. Mrs. Bush said at the time that she was hugging and kissing the kids as a message to show people that you cannot contract AIDS simply by touch. And 2 days ago, McGrath was the one to send out the official statement on behalf of the family that Mrs. Bush had decided to not seek additional medical treatment and would instead focus on comfort care. McGrath's account is the official account for updates on the family. Nearly everyone in the media will be relying on him for any updates about either the former First Lady or the president. There was one tweet from a Washington politics reporter that said a source close to the family said that despite dealing with COPD, Mrs. Bush was alert last night and having conversations. She also had a bourbon. So the former First Lady, considered to be the Rock, nicknamed the Enforcer. Many people in Maine say they hope to see her here next summer. We'll tell you more about that coming up later on News Center Maine. Lee and Lindsay.
Chris Costa live in Kennebunkport tonight. Thank you very much. So this is an absolutely terrible thing to joke about, but somebody out there actually wrote up and then shared a fake article claiming that Mrs. Bush had already passed away. And like most things on the internet, the rumors started to spread. And again, this is a hoax. Barbara Bush is alive, getting comfort care at home in Houston. The false news article was posted by someone claiming to be CNN, and CNN journalists started to rebut the claims on Twitter as well. If you click on the link, the webpage actually no longer exists, but there is a dead giveaway that it is fake. It uses the URL breaking-cnn.com. The real URL is just cnn.com. Checking on that URL is one of the many ways that you can judge if something is fake news. Also check for an author's name, and you can always check to see if any other credible news organizations or sources have the exact same story to corroborate. This was an easy story for us to verify as false, but if you ever have something that makes your fake news senses tingle, send it to us. We are here to help you verify fact from fiction. Send a link or a story idea to asknow@newscentermaine.com or post it to our Facebook page, and we'll be able to help you out. Lindsay?
All right, Lee, thanks. Extreme training for high school kids.
All these kids that do this, they want to come back and do it again.
Some Navy SEAL training for the body and the mind, how it's helping the youth of Maine. That story coming up.
Tonight on 207 Something Special, we're at the Cape Arundel Inn in Kennebunkport with Chef Pierre Gignac. What's on the menu, Chef?
Wonderful confection of chocolate truffles this evening.
We did okay. Watch us on 207 at 7.
Okay, imagine hanging out after school with former Navy SEALs and current members of law enforcement on purpose.
Not because they're chasing you. There is a program in our state that gives high school students a chance to do just that, and it's all in the name of leadership.
Your thought process would go a lot different ways.
There was a meeting of the minds today as some community leaders gathered to chat about the SEALFIT program. Under the umbrella of the Maine Leadership Institute, which was founded by Dr. Walter Corey back in the 1970s, the SEALFIT program is a 7-week training that happens after school and offers useful tools to our youth.
It's really about trying to teach life skills to young kids. The more diverse the group we can get, the better, because we're really just trying to teach young people to be accepting of challenges and of each other.
The program, which is free to the students as well as the participating schools, is funded by the state. Besides the psychological work put in by the kids, there are physical aspects as well, where they are taught and shown that anything is possible.
We tell them that we will not allow them to say can't. You can say, I presently struggle with, I'm having trouble with this, I'm working on it, but we make a big point out of not allowing them to say can't.
Former Westbrook High School, UMaine, and New England Patriot player Trevor Bates first took part in this program when he was a Black Bear. He retested himself when he was on the Patriots so he could see the growth.
For me, kind of see, especially being on New England, to take it at that point to see kind of what areas I may have lacked in or what areas are strong, and kind of helped me kind of focus on that, and same with college too. And so it was definitely cool to see.
And when they're done with the SEALFIT program, they have a lot to believe in. There's none of that hopelessness. All these kids that do this, they want to come back and do it again. They really enjoy it. They believe in it. They love it.
I love that answer. I mean, you're training with Navy SEALs and you're pushing yourself to the limits, and then when it's over, you can't wait to do it again. That's pretty cool.
Push it to the limit. All right,
right.
Very good story, Lee. Thanks. An important medical discovery saving lives all over New England.
Fantastic. My kidney function is amazing.
Connection between the opioid epidemic and organ donors. That's next.
And that bright yellow thing in the sky is trying to poke out, but how much longer? Oh, I love today. I love today. Bring it. A revolutionary medical program in New England is saving lives, but it does come with a dark cost.
Doctors at Mass General Hospital in Boston have found a way to save more lives using kidneys from donors who died from a drug overdose. The opioid epidemic killed more than 64,000 Americans, including more than 400 Mainers last year. In a 6-year period, there was a 277% increase in kidney donors who died from overdoses. That means 20% of organ donors in New England died from a drug overdose.
It's a sobering statistic, but researchers have found a way to make something positive come from tragedy. Christina Rex is here now to explain how this is done. Hey, Christina.
Lee and Lindsay, about 1 in 5 organ donors who die from an opioid overdose are infected with hepatitis C, a virus commonly spread by needle use. Doctors at Mass General have been transplanting Hep C positive kidneys to Hep C positive recipients for a long time, but they've now discovered that they can safely transplant those infected kidneys into a patient without Hep C. This is a game changer in the medical industry, and it reduces the wait time for kidneys in New England from around 6 years to, in some cases, just weeks.
Oh my God, like this is happening today.
Jason Lytle had waited 2 years for a kidney, 2 years of dialysis at his home, 2 years of lacking the energy to play with his 4-year-old daughter.
The boxes of the fluid that I used, each box weighed about 40 pounds, and they would deliver about 50 to 60 of those boxes each month.
With 900 pounds of fluid sitting in his home, waiting to go into his body, Jason was willing to try anything to get a kidney. So when he found out about Mass General's new protocol of transplanting hepatitis C positive kidneys, he signed up immediately. Within 2 weeks, he had a match.
By the time tomorrow morning rolls around, I'm going to have a new kidney in me. It didn't register.
This process is possible because there are a number of drugs on the market that can cure Hep C. Doctors at Mass General start treating patients with these drugs before they transplant the infected kidney to make sure the virus never fully manifests.
As they're pushing my bed down to the operating room, that's when they handed me the first pill and said, here, take this.
Patients, including Jason, often see a small flare of the virus in the first few days, but it has gone away completely in every patient that has received one of these kidneys in the last 8 months. The challenge is grappling with the reality of where that kidney came from, likely a result of New England's ever-growing opioid epidemic.
That's another public health crisis that needs to be addressed, but I think when you have something like that occur, I think it always helps to find some positive way to turn that around and to get something positive out of it. So I think in transplantation, we've been able to do that.
Jason Lytle's kidney function is better than it's ever been. He has the energy to play with his daughter again. He knows he'll be around to see her go to prom, to graduate.
I now know that I'm going to be around for those things. Right. Like I thought about that the other day and I started crying. Like, you know, I'm going to get to walk her down the aisle.
He can't find the words to thank the family that saved his life or to console them for their loss. It's something he's struggled with since he got his new kidney 8 months ago.
If they had to lose a child, I'm sorry, so that my daughter can have her father, you know, then you're right. It's a positive. You know, it really is. You know, so I do want to thank that family, but I got to find the right way to do it. And I haven't come up with it yet. I haven't.
Jason doesn't know who he got his kidney from. When he's ready, he says he'll write a letter to the family that Mass General will then deliver. So could a program like this come here to Maine? Dr. David Wojciechowski says he warns any department to make sure it's fully equipped with all the necessary researchers and resources before starting a program like this. The work here isn't done either, and the hospital still plans to manage its kidney recipients for any possible long-term effects.
You got 2 extra days, but it's time to pay the piper, or if you're lucky, collect a refund. Tonight at midnight, taxes are due. April 15th is usually tax day, but that was a Sunday, and yesterday was Emancipation Day, a Washington, D.C. holiday, so the IRS was closed. We all got an extra couple of days to get our lives together.
But the clock is ticking. Only before the deadline, at least 2 major functions of the IRS's website crashed this afternoon. Oops. First, the direct pay service, then the payment plan sign up. The IRS does offer staggered payments for families who can't afford to shell it all out at once. It had the same error message. According to CNBC, the head of the IRS said taxpayers will not be penalized because of the partial site crash, but did not fully explain what concessions or extensions might be offered. We just checked. It looks like those web pages are now back up and running if you want to go check them out.
Good news for those waiting for the last minute.
Yeah. And those are people who owe. That's what's interesting is it's direct pay crashing, because if you are going to get money back, you don't wait until today, right? You do it like as soon as
you know what else is waiting till the last minute?
What? Spring?
The summer. Spring.
There is no such thing as spring in Maine.
Right.
Doesn't happen.
One
Winter,
season.
summer, that's it.
Conflicting sides. You know, Jeff from the Sea Dogs, he's texting me, let's get spring going. The guys from Sugarloaf are texting me, can we stay open?
As if you have something to do with
ski on
it.
Mother's
That's
Day?
May 1st. Yeah, they're excited. The other side's
Yeah.
not so much. We're stuck in the middle either way. We've got a couple of showers out there right now. Today was better than yesterday. That ain't saying much though, right? Really nasty day. A couple of showers left over, snowflakes in the mountains. All of this energy though dying out, and things will settle down through tonight with those snow showers, the last to exit into the northern parts of Maine, down East Maine, seeing those showers move out just about a half hour ago. Temperatures, not amazing, at least in the upper 40s along the coastline, 40 in Augusta, 44 in Bangor. Our average high this time of the year is about 52, 53. We really are having a hard time getting anywhere near that over the past few days. It won't be until the weekend that we get there. Hour-by-hour forecast, tonight we get partly cloudy to mostly clear. Tomorrow's a sunnier day. than today, but temperatures not necessarily responding that much. Still upper 40s in a lot of spots, maybe some low 50s. More clouds move in the afternoon and a couple of snow showers in the mountains. Most of us, though, are dry through the day tomorrow, and again, more sunshine than we saw today. And then things get interesting again on Thursday. That storm system on Thursday approaches from the southwest, but it takes a track such that it has enough cold air that it pulls in that we're at least talking about and thinking about mixing with sleet and snow away from the immediate coastline. Sleet pellets, I think, a possibility even along the coast on Thursday night. Certainly a better chance of that over northern Maine. That could be snow on Friday morning, and over northern Maine and down east, it could be accumulating snowfall. But wait, don't run me out of town just yet, because Monday, Tuesday, maybe Wednesday of next week, upper 50s, some low 60s. Shouldn't be as cool as it is. I mean, that sounds amazing. It's really not that crazy, but in this pattern, it feels great. And by the way, the weekend, sunny both days, temperatures between 50 and 55. So Thursday and into Friday is going to be kind of nasty, but we are going to pay off over the weekend.
As long as there's a reward, a light at the end of the tunnel.
I'm just laughing. The word sleet is still being used in our forecast.
Well, we're going to talk about it in raindrops. How rare is it? That'll be April 20th.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
Look at that. All right.
Tie-in.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Well, New Englanders are pretty well known for being determined, lifelong sports fans.
And really well known for hating the Yankees. Okay, it's true. Brothers Variety in West Cumberland does sell Yankee-themed lighters, but with a built-in apology. Thank you to Jennifer for sharing using the hashtag That's So Maine. If you see anything that makes you go, that's so Maine, send it to us. Post it to our Facebook page or just tag New Center Maine in your post and we will check it out.
All right, sounds good. Does the Maine legislature have the votes to get a marijuana bill through? We'll have that story coming up in the next half hour. Some lawmakers hope to make this latest version law without a signature from Governor LePage.
Also had thousands of pieces more than 20 feet long, a Titanic replica made of Legos, but it's really the creator that is capturing hearts everywhere. We'll have that story as well. Raindrops when New Center Now continues. And suddenly I'm back in Deering's biology class and I don't know what's happening.
We just bought this, all right? Okay, so if it snows on Friday, which I think that it will, that would be April 20th. How rare is that? These are the latest snowfalls recorded over southern Maine. May 11th, 1945 is the record. You get a lot, though, in April. And if we end up on April 20th, that will be number 15. So the idea that, yes, it's Maine, it snows in April, that's true, but we would be 14 out of 127 years would be later than what we have on the 20th, which means we're the 11th percentile. So we're getting into rarefied air as far as it snowing this late in April, particularly along the coastline.
I mean, I'm competitive and I always want to be number one, but
be
not
first?
like this. I really don't. No.
May 12th then?
No Mother's Day snow.
It's a good day, May 12th.
That's coming, you know. Just saying. New Center at 5:30 starts right now.